Hi everyone, today I'm reviewing the Marmot Kompressor Rush waist pack. It's part of Marmot's new range of running hydration packs and handhelds. What really drew me to it was the use of a soft bottle. I've been using soft bottles in a number of different packs and I was keen to see how Marmot incorporated this one and how well it worked in this configuration. Going straight into the features of this waist pack, we've obviously got the soft flask. This is 500 milliliters and made by Hydropack, as I believe all soft flasks on the market at the moment are. And this particular one has a slightly stiffened base with a small attachment loop to it, which makes it compatible with other sort of handheld units that you can use with this type of soft flask. The lid is fairly wide, wider than a few of the others that Hydropack make, and features a lock-in ring so you can lock it off when you want to drink. Just twist it 90 degrees and you can drink. The reason I really like soft flasks is that you can take all the air out of them so the water doesn't slosh about, and you can also compress them down to practically nothing once you've finished with them and stow them away. So it was interesting to see how it worked in a very, what I would call a traditional waist pack configuration. We've got a fairly stiff foam bottle holder sitting at an angle at the back of the pack. Traditionally you would use this with a rigid bottle, and you can use this pack with a normal 500ml rigid water bottle. At the moment I have this bottle about half full of water and I've inflated the rest of it just with my mouth so that it holds its shape, but you can obviously, if you undo the locking ring and let all the air out. Once you've removed all the air from the bottle, you're left with just the water inside, and this doesn't slosh around when you want to drink. You don't need to tip the bottle, you can just hold it upright and suck, and because there's no air, the water will come straight up. And that's really what I like about soft bottles. I've got no problems with a soft bottle as it is, because it works just as a soft bottle should. When it comes to putting the bottle into the holder, you do need to be a little bit careful. Obviously without any air it's very flexible. You need to make sure that it seats in correctly and drops down, but once it's in, it should stay fairly secure as long as you've got a fairly decent amount of water. I'd say at least maybe a third. Any less and you might find it falling out of this hole potentially. Now this seems like a bit of an oversight that they've left this hole for the bottle to fall out on, and I do kind of agree, but it also does make it a fair bit easier to get the bottle in the first place. If I show you with the waist pack on me, I drop the bottle in from the angle and put my thumb in through the gap and push it down to the bottom. That way I know it's right down in the bottle holder and nice and secure. If I was to have a small amount of water left in the bottle and I wanted to put it back in the holder, I would probably re-inflate it slightly. Inflating it will give it more rigidity and prevent it from slipping out of the hole at the bottom of the holder. In my opinion, this does kind of defeat the object of having a soft bottle, because in this configuration you would have to tilt the bottle to drink and it would slosh around just as much as a normal bottle. Also, if you were to drink out of it as it is, it would become more flexible and you may need to re-inflate it again to give it that rigidity to help it stay in the holder. Overall though, this hasn't been a huge issue, and you can see while it's inflated it's slotting easily into the bottle holder, and I've had absolutely no problems using that while running. It really depends on whether you think it's worth having some of the benefits of a soft bottle some of the time, or just sticking to a hard bottle all the time and having it fixed like that. Moving on to some of the other features of the waist pack, you've got a very nice dual pull forward hip belt adjustment. So the buckles you can see are on the end of the padding of the hip belt itself. You just pull these straps forward to adjust and get a really nice secure fit doing that. You also have some small pieces of elastic on the webbing strap which you can use to tidy up any loose ends after you've adjusted it. The buckle is a standard quick release, just press and release. As you can see, this pack has quite a substantial amount of foam along the back and around the sides, which when you put it on really sort of supports and hugs and wraps around your body quite well. It's quite comfortable. I've had no problems carrying that for a few hours. The foam they use is quite a dense, close cell foam, and I find this does get quite sweaty after a while running in warm conditions. To be honest, I find that any rucksack, regardless of what type of foam they use, will get quite sweaty if it's a warm day. You know, sometimes you can't really avoid that, and this offers maybe slightly less breathability but more comfort and support than some others. So that's just sort of a trade-off. You have to decide which is more important to you. Personally, I've got no problems running with this. You don't really notice it if you're getting quite sweaty, and it is very comfortable. On to the features on the back of the waist pack itself. You've obviously got the bottle holder right in the middle, at an angle, easy to get in and out of, as I mentioned before. To the one side of it, you have a small loop at the top, which you can use for hanging gloves or a bandana or something from. Just attach a small hook to it if you want. You also have another loop at the bottom here, the reflective section. You can see you can just about get something behind there if you want to again clip something on, or maybe clip on a safety light if you're running at night. On this side you have a small mesh pocket, not really stretchy at all and not very big. I generally use this just for sort of gel wrappers or something. It's about as much as you can get in there. It won't fit a phone, and not much else really. You'll fit a gel or two maybe in there, but I think this could really do with some work. Either make it stretchy or make it bigger. As it is, it's not very functional, and I think another larger pocket would be much more functional, such as this pocket on the other side, which is really nice and big, zipped at the top in a curved shape, and you've got this really stretchy mesh which expands. You've also got a key clip in there, and what I like is they've put this on a nice long piece of cord so that your keys will sit at the bottom, where you don't need your keys when you're running, so they can stay at the bottom, not on a really short piece of cord that will mean they're always up at the top and in the way every time you want to get in and out of the pocket. It also means you can unlock or lock your car while your keys are still on there, because there's a bit of movement in there, a bit of reach if you need to. So that's a nice big pocket. You'll easily fit a phone, food, a lightweight jacket in there, no problem. So that's pretty much it for the Marmot Kompressor Rush waist pack. Personally, I don't think it's quite there. There's a lot of good features to it, very usable. I've used it plenty of times for running, I've had no problems with it, but it doesn't really stand out. The soft bottle kind of works and kind of doesn't. Personally, I would be just as happy using a normal rigid bottle as I would a soft bottle. I don't think the soft bottle has any major disadvantages. There's some advantages and some disadvantages. If you've got any questions about the Marmot Kompressor Rush, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer them, and thanks for watching.